Let me say a special good morning. Good morning again to our listeners. Classic Radio 105.5, 105.9. Good morning. Good Thursday morning to you. That's a lot of good morning there, right? Let me say hello this time to our viewers. Those of you via, of course, GBN TV, whether it's channel 11, channel 20, and moving back down a wee bit, channel 7. So good morning once again to you, and I hope all is well. Welcome to another edition of To The Point. I'm your host, GT. Nice to be with you this morning. And I certainly hope you could, of course, join me in terms of giving me that call, because we're going to have an open line this morning. Yes. I'm kind of all over in my intro this morning for some reason or the other. It's been a kind of morning how my morning have started, so I'm all over the place for some reason or the other. But nevertheless, going to get it together as we go on through. So your phone calls are welcome. It's an open line, which means you're free to give me that call. Let's hear your views on certain aspects and situations within the beautiful spice isle of ours. And you may want to comment on something that you feel that it's of importance to you. So feel free to do that. 435-2041. Forgive me for being a little bit stumblish this morning. It's just the way my morning has started thus far. Let's entertain our first caller. Caller, good morning. You're welcome. Caller, good morning. Good morning. I'm not sure what's happening there. I don't think it's an issue on my side. 435-2041, 435-2041. That's the number here on Classic Radio. And give me that call, and it's an open line this morning. Let's hear your views, your concerns this morning. Something is probably of a concern to you, and you want to express that this morning. Feel free to do so. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, good morning. Welcome.
Yeah, good morning, GT, and morning. Always always a George Javier around, and today is no exception.
Good morning to you, man. Mm-hmm.
I hope you had a very reflective
Thanksgiving Day yesterday.
I don't like to say holiday, but reflective. Well, let me keep it at holiday.
How was your day yesterday? What did you do yesterday? If there were anything that you do in particular?
Well, I stayed home, and in the first part of the morning, your colleague initiated a conversation and what was people's experience on the day, and I shared my experience. But I was going to mention also today, we keep shortchanging our people in the sense we say one thing and we do, like the guy was asked for, in a sense, we're asking for people's experience in the day, and then people were talking about how it happened before, what happened after. But on the day, what happened with your experience on the day cannot be disputed, because that's your experience. But when you're talking about what they did before and all this, I mean, we, and that is partly because we have not really facilitated real conversation on some of the events that have impacted on us. We have little tongue bites here and tongue bites, so people are still confused. In that respect, one of your callers this morning in the program said that he would love to have some more thorough conversation on the situation in Palestine, because he's a bit confused. And I think a lot of people are confused because depending who's spinning, who giving the spin on what is happening, they could leave you confused. And especially when you start talking about the Bible and God choosing and that kind of thing, without understanding the context in which the current situation have evolved in Palestine. And I think I'll stay a little and show some other people would join with comment. But you see, as I said this morning, we could have had that same problem in Palestine happening in Guyana, because that was one of the places the British considered giving the Zionists. Or else it could be in Africa, in East Africa, and lands between Uganda and Kenya. The Zionists, when they was put to them, the one in Kenya and Uganda, said, let us consider it. They discussed it in one of I can't remember the year of the Congress. And they said, okay, let's study it. And the next Congress, they said no. They rejected. They said, no, we can't accept that. We must be in some place, must be in Palestine to make our thing real, because even though we call ourselves Israel, we cannot be so potent in Guyana or in Kenya or Uganda. It had to be in Palestine. So the British agreed and gave them Palestine. don't forget
All
that
right.
the people, the Europeans, have the habit that they are the first people to be, to inhabit land, in the sense that nobody was there like here. They discovered the Caribbean, they discovered the Americas. Of course, they discovered Palestine, and maybe they discovered Africa too, because nobody was living there. So the problem that arises there, that right now, a problem that was brewed by those people. The people started up. They started up where the people had the majority of land. And now they have little, because they have the settlers encroaching, which is against international law. And then you have people blindly supporting because America is supporting Israel, unconditionally. And so it's really sad that our people could see the suffering and the carnage of people because we think that they have a different religion. The people of Palestine are not only Muslims. They are Christian, they are Jews. In fact, some of the Jews that lived there for 100 of years, they were pushed aside. They was, relegated to the bottom by those Zionists who came from Eastern Europe and Russia and Germany after the Second World War. In fact, sometimes, GT, I just wonder whether Hitler had, and please forgive me, maybe Hitler had something well legitimate also to deal with the way he wanted to wipe out the Jews, because the way these folks are behaving, they wonder if there's something in them that seems to be evil. You say you were treated in a certain way, and you're going and treating people worse. Something is wrong.
All right, cool. Thank you so much. And I certainly do understand your passion about the issue there, but there are a lot of folks may have varying, of course, thoughts in terms of what you say, but I certainly do understand where you're coming from. Have a good morning.
All right, thanks.
435-2041, 435-2041. That's a number. If you only pound alpha to the point this morning, it's an open line this morning here. You can feel free to give me that call and express your views and concerns here on the program this morning. Let's go back to the phone line and take another caller. Caller, you're welcome. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, I want to touch a little on the corn seed.
The corn
Farmers
seed.
paying over $50 a pound for 1 pound of corn seed to plant. At the end of the day, when you plant the corn, vendors go to buy the corn, you pay $2 for one. When you do ready to sell the corn, you're getting half in a corn because the corn seed really done good. All you're getting is a set of big worm eating the corn right down. You understand? So you're putting out like $500 to buy 250 cans. And then you have to come back and catch your hell to see what you could make, because the can looking big, and then when you strike, you don't get in nothing much in it. So farmers will borrow and tell you, well, look, we're paying extra that. We have to sell it for more. But it don't make sense to selling it for more because the can itself don't giving you a good result. When can seed was $5 and $3 a pound, you get a better era can, you get a better result. So I just calling to make the farmers know that when the vendors get the can, you getting real bad results, especially with this last stronger season that passed there. And I want to say thank God for the rain and thank God for the farmers.
Thank
Have a good day,
you too, buddy. Have a good one. Well, I think you cannot predict, or who sells you the seed. That they cannot predict if they will yield or not. So that's a kind of a particular subject there for some reason or the other. Let us entertain another caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome. Good morning to you, caller. Welcome. Caller, if you wish not to participate, please don't waste the time and call. 435-2041. Let's entertain another caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome. Good morning to you, caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome.
Mr. Telesford, good morning.
Good morning to you. I'm doing pretty well. How are you this morning? Well, I wouldn't say 100%, but I'm there. I'm there this morning.
All right. I have a concern, and it will be there for quite a while because of the vendors on the sidewalk in town. It is so wrong. It is so unfair to senior citizens and even everybody. There's no place to park, to walk. But on the other hand, the vendors on the sidewalk, I don't know if they're paying a fee as those who occupying the market. But those on the sidewalk selling the things more expensive than those in the market. And it is unfair. if those on the sidewalk, they are not paying a fee, and they get in the first sale, because some of us don't even want to go in the market. Those on the sidewalk getting the first sale, and the things more expensive, and you're getting less for the pound. So in other words, you're getting less for more money, and they're not paying a market fee. And those inside the market hardly getting sale except on Friday and Saturday, and they have to pay the market fee. Somebody have to do something about it and move those people, because the whole town, east, west, north, and south, is vendors. You cannot walk, you cannot pass. So I'm calling on the policemen to do the duty, do the right thing, and move these people so senior citizens and people alike will get to move around to transact the business when they're in the city.
All right.
Have a good day.
You too, caller. Have a good morning. 435-2041. It's been talked about a whole lot, being doing the program for a while, and it's always been a concern, especially when you have the open line, concern about the sidewalk. I know the market has been, of course, redeveloped a wee bit so that, those who are selling on the sidewalks road should have been able to come in. I'm not sure the reason why they are still on the sidewalk selling. Maybe someone in authority could pop in or call in and give an explanation why they're still there and why the issue have not been resolved as yet. Caller, good morning. You're welcome.
Yes, good morning to you, GT.
Good morning to you.
And how are you today?
I'm doing pretty well. Good morning.
Okay, have a great day. No, this last lady, that's a concern to everybody. Mm-hmm. But you see, we had, as you identified, we had been talking about this thing for ages. And
it's not really a new conversation, you understand?
It is not. This is decades. Decades old. We're saying the same thing for a long, long time. But when you look at the size of the town, size of the market, the clientele has grown.
Yes. Huh? Yes.
And so what do? We're having the same thing with transportation. Too much transport coming into the city. We need to urbanize. We need to get the rural areas going, and that will solve so many problems. Too much people come in town to do the same thing.
Well, do you think individuals in those in authority are having that vision to look beyond just everything is centralized a wee bit?
Well, I'll tell you something. Even though they do not have the vision, I think, yes, they don't have vision for all other things. They've been told by people who have the vision, and the vision that we are pointing out, they will save this country and will put us in a much better situation. But it seems to me, I don't know if it's a cultural thing, black culture, that people doesn't want you to help them. As soon as you intervene in the space, they get angry with you. Oh, you're trying to do my job.
And they put up some resistance. I understand.
Yes, they put up some resistance. I don't want your idea, and 10 years down the road, they have to use the ideas. So we have this problem where we have this market, we have the transportation. We must urbanize. We have transportation coming into work. Everybody have to reach in town for 8 o'clock. And when you stretch the traffic, some people will not get to work at all. So we need to urbanize so that the parishes, the older parishes, could hold their own. It will not bring in less revenue for the city. It's going to bring in more, you see, because the city is what they call, it is a capital. Mm-hmm. And that's where you find the tourists come, they land there and so forth. So that will always be there, But we have to learn that people must come up to the countryside to get some of their needs, so create a balance. But I don't want to take much time because it's not my custom. But I want to bring something very serious, because I have been looking at this thing for quite some time. It's a world situation, and I'm calling on our Caribbean leaders to engage our African leaders very seriously with a view to looking at controlling our resources, natural and otherwise. I am also calling on the Gulf states, all states, to do the same thing. Control your resources with a view to dictating something. And I am asking also that the Asian countries, in other words, evolve evolve around China. Now, what I'm saying here may be argumentative because people cannot see what I'm saying, and I'm not going to what you call fine print or what you call give too much advice. It's something I'm seeing there. Evolve around China because we are going to face a very serious economic problem, and it's going to hit us African and Caribbean people much harder. So African people must engage with African leaders. The Gulf states are advising that they control the oil resources and other resources, mineral or otherwise, and then let us evolve around China. The Asian states, let us evolve around China.
All right, caller. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your contribution. 435. We could probably accommodate another caller before we take our first break in today's program. Let me say good morning to those of you via social media platform, the Facebook page, to be precise. Good morning up to you, those of you who are commenting there. And I would say let's take that first break. And when we come back, we'll certainly entertain more of your calls when we return. Stay with us, folks.
For a limited time, the NLA has dropped all of the 2X balls from the multi-X draw. This means that you, our valuable players, have greater chances of multiplying your winnings up to 5 times more in our 2X drop promotion. Yay! And that's not all. As an additional bonus, there will be fewer free play or FP balls to draw from too. Now you have more reasons to add multi-X to your playway bets. So, value your dreams, win your way, and multiply your winnings up to 5 times more in the NLA's 2X Dropped promotion. Promo runs until Friday, 20th October, 2023. Must be 18 years or older to play. NLA, making your dreams come true.
Introducing the NIS Dream Loan, where possibilities are boundless and your aspirations are our priority. No matter where life takes you, NIS Dream Loans are here to make your dreams a reality. From purchasing your first plot of land or dream property to renovating spaces, building your home, and seamlessly switching mortgages, we cater to every step of your journey. And here's what sets us apart. We offer easy financing options with competitive interest rates, quick approval processes, and flexible repayment terms. So why wait? Apply now and let our dedicated NIS team guide you through this exciting journey. Visit nisgrenada.org/dream loan or call 440-3309 to book an appointment. Terms and conditions apply. Your dream awaits.
Your life is yours, your future's in your hands. Your body is yours, that's why you need a plan. You gotta plan your family, avoid HIV, get the education from the Grenada Planned Parenthood Association.
We offer STI screening, gender-based violence counseling, prenatal and postnatal checks, injectables, condoms, pap smears, and other sexual reproductive services. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. The Pointu Street, St. George's. Whether male or female, it doesn't matter. We're here to make your life better.
Grenada Planned Parenthood Association.
For appointments, call 440-3341.
Welcome back, listeners and viewers. Welcome back to another edition of To The Point for today, Thursday, the 26th day of October. Good morning once again and welcome back. We have an open line on today's program, which means you're free to give it a call, 435-2041, and express your views, your concerns. Let's go over to the phone line and entertain another caller. Caller, good morning and welcome.
Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, Mr. Telesford. Greetings. How are you?
Doing pretty good, sir. Go right
nice
ahead.
weather there, isn't it, Mr. Telesford?
Yeah, yes.
Weather for two. Now, let's get to the meat of the matter. So many things to talk about. But I want to comment on this. You know, it provoked me a while ago, that advertisement on corn this morning.
Yeah.
And I hear that there will be an activity, and we usually celebrate it quickly on this one, in Carriacou. I want to make a recommendation to Grenadians. because it's essential as we move towards food security and, above all, food sovereignty. We can supply ourselves with food instead of having to wait on the ship. We can be secure of the ships bringing the food afterwards. But if there's a storm or whatnot. But anyway, Asham. Brothers and sisters, pay attention to the word Asham. Or whatever it means. That's how we know it. But you know, Asham, as in other jurisdictions where I lived, is used as one of the most powerful breakfast cereals. Si, senor. Asham. It is called in that place Fororo. Pronunciation is different, Fororo. Pero, but Asham. Listen to the difference. The difference is that the corn is not parched, charred, in other words, burnt, as it is done here to make Asham. What these people believe is that when you burn food, it causes problems in your body. You know, they all digest the same as we do, but this is the thing. The corn is baked at extremely high pressure to guarantee that it is cooked, as is coffee done in the toasting of the coffee. So it doesn't have this burnt, charred taste, and then it is ground. And that, in the morning, mixed with hot milk, or whatever you want to do with it, creates a perfect breakfast cereal. And so we don't have to buy corn breaks. And we can save ourselves some money. Powerful breakfast cereal, Asham, as we know it. Suggestion, by the way. Let's go now to the meat of the matter. I'd like to talk a bit on the Israeli situation, but I'd rather suggest that the radio station, your entity, take this matter up as a sip, because only this morning, a caller expressed his concern of being confused on the matter. The first caller a while ago also made reference to it. Or people are not certain. Let's put it this way. They're all confused. Retract that again. Some of us are confused about this issue, about what is happening in Israel. And it's an international thing. If it overflows, can affect us. And I think our people ought, no. You may say, well, go and read and do a research for yourself. Many of us don't have that capacity. And many of us do not have the tools, the resources to do it. And of course, we do not have a library, a public library where you can go and sit down. So I would like to suggest to your entity that they make this issue a talking issue on the programs. And even we waste time playing Jamaican hogwash music. Let's get a team of people who have ideas on this matter. Let us refer to the written history because it is there and we have access to it. Some of us have access to it. And let us teach the people what. Because it's believed that God gave the Israeli and the Israelites the land of, that is hogwash in this modern time. If, for instance, Mr. Telesford, the original people, I'm talking about the First Nations people of North America, were to say, this land is ours, you European settlers came here and took it from us, we want it back. You can imagine what would happen here, Mr. Telesford. If a couple of, how you call them again, our Aboriginal Kalinago people, what your parents are, we want this land because it's ours before you European people took it over and bringing these black people here. You can imagine the chaos that would make, Mr. Telesford. But we have to know what is happening there. This is not a biblical, this is not a religious, this is nothing to do with that church and religion. No, this is a political matter that has its history from the latter part of the 19th century to now. So I'd like to have that matter look. I urge you people to make a public forum on this issue so that people can be clear on it. I don't want to take more time for no other. If according to how it goes, I'll call back till later. Give somebody else a chance. Have a nice day.
Thank you, caller. Have a good one yourself. 4352041. Let's take a couple of the comments via the Facebook page before we do entertain another caller. And Antonio have two comments. Let's see if I could read them out this morning. Yesterday, some Grenadians celebrated what called Thanksgiving, but only focused on the heroes, on their hero Americans, or the American heroes, if you want to say it in that way, who said that they was there for their students of SGU, and that what was disappointing, we had PRA soldiers who died fighting the mighty USA, defending their country, and not one name of our veteran soldiers was read out. When American soldiers died in their big deal is a big deal, and for them, why can't we follow their path to recognize our fallen comrades? Let's take another comment again before we go back to the phone line. And still another comment here from Antonio saying, today I want to focus my attention on the home of the late comrade PM Maurice Bishop, home and residence which he spent his last days before executed, and seeing it running down in the dilapidated state. I think we should use it as a library where our people can learn about the man himself and the most successful revolution, or we can make it a tourism attraction site. Why we have our history in front of us taking highwards. That's another comment there. Let me see if there's any other one before I move back to the phone line. I think there's no other relevant comment there for now. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, good morning, welcome.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you.
Now I want to speak about maybe a few little things, but I wouldn't take much time.
Go right ahead.
The clogging up of the sidewalk in St. George's by peddlers, I think this is totally political. I usually visit the St. George's Market, and there are lots of empty spaces on the inside of the market. But the peddlers don't want to go there because it's so far from the road where people are passing. And if you have laws in the country, and you have policemen to execute the laws, and the peddlers are still there, I think the politicians are the ones permitting this kind of humbug to pedestrians. It is unfair. It is not an accident. It is deliberate and politically authorized. That's the first thing. The second thing is this. We had two holidays, the 19th and the 25th, here in Grenada. I believe the 19th was well deserved because of the atrocities, the horror, the terror unleashed on Grenadians with the savage slaughter of Grenadians on the 19th. Trying to associate that day with National Heroes Day. And I heard the head of government saying there is no other day more suitable in the year to be associated with National Heroes Day. I shocked at the words coming from such an official. As a matter of fact, from the time you say 19th October, one thing comes to the minds of people in Grenada who are familiar with what took place. Death, horror, confusion, slaughter. Now, as a matter of fact, we must get over idea straight. And I believe the revolution was good. There were very nasty things too in the revolution. People suffered. People were imprisoned. No rule of law. Anti-revolutionary, petty bourgeois, and all type of terms were used to label people, and they suffered. We must bear in mind, tell the truth about the revolution. It was good, it was bad, it was ugly. On 13th March 79, people died, and they call it a bloodless overthrow. On 19th October, people died. What started with blood ended with blood. And the final thing I want to speak about is this. When we say, we look at the Bible is not a single book. The Bible is a library. Some have 66 books, others have 72 books. And we must bear in mind, when we use the word God, we must think carefully. Who saw God giving land to any special group of people. God is the creator of the entirety of creation. All races, all ethnic groups were created by God. Why should we say that these people up there are chosen people of God? God tell us that? Where shall we see God? Where shall we hear God? Who is God? We must stop associating God with this nonsense that is taking place. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much for your contribution this morning. We're due for a break. We're coming right back with more of your calls. Stay with us, folks. It's To The Point.
You know, one day I woke up and, you know, they painted a set of pedestrian crossing all along the streets. You know, nobody told us how to use that thing properly.
I know how.
You're serious?
Every safe, good driver knows about these things. As a driver, you have to be very attentive. You know you're coming up close to a pedestrian cross, you start slowing down immediately, looking to see if there's any pedestrian on the side getting ready to cross. If there is, you stop on the line that is a certain distance before the crosswalk. Then you would see the pedestrian put their hands out, looking directly at you, indicating that they are going to cross. And only when you have come to a complete stop, that is when they will quickly and safely cross to the other side. And then you continue happily on your journey.
Stop, look, hand out, eye contact, wait for pedestrian to cross. Then you happily continue on your journey.
This message is brought to you by this group of insurance companies, the Traffic Advisory Body, and the Traffic Department.
Welcome back, listeners. Welcome back, viewers. To The Point for today, Thursday, the 26th of October. Some like to view it as the day after the holiday. We're taking your phone calls. If you do have a comment you'd like to make, feel free to do so. You have some sort of contribution, an opinion you'd like to share, feel free to do so. 435-2041. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, good morning. Welcome.
Yes, Mr. Telesford, I beg your indulgences for a minute.
Go right ahead.
Great. I want to piggyback a bit on two comments made prior, and the last caller touched on it also as one of his points. The issue of accessibility to the sidewalks of our town. Very serious matter for me, a person with visual impairment, but trained in mobility. In other words, I can move about because I know what to do to move about. Since I returned to this country, I've been trying from time to time to explain the authorities from all levels why people like me should have access. And it's not people like me because we're blind and cannot see. The elder people of this country, the older, and even young people, and the normal able-bodied man have difficulties to traverse the sidewalk. Why? Because people, quote-unquote, had to eat our food. No, I want to tell Grenadians this. I have made all efforts from within the quote, and giving them the full name, the Royal Grenada Police Force, to find out why they are refusing to remove, in compliance with the laws of our country, to remove the people from the sidewalks. And I was told, crystally clearly, Mr. Rollo, we have tried everything, but we are instructed at a political level not to do it. This happened, these words were uttered to me in the previous administration. But note that almost 2 years into the new administration, nothing is happening either. And it begs the question, is it really the partisan politics that instructs this, or is it the system? The government of Grenada knows exactly what they're doing. They're depriving the people, the elder people, the people with disabilities, people who are in fact, according to the United Nations Convention, are vulnerable. Therefore, all must be done by the national state parties to guarantee accessibility and the mobility of said people. But they refuse to do it. This, brothers and sisters, this action from the state of Grenada is a violation of the fundamental rights and freedoms as allocated to these people by international convention. And so we have to try the government, the so-called prime minister, the so-called governor general. They're all part of the conspiracy to hurt and to bleed the poor people of this country while they live in the aristocratic status. The Tete is all them concerned about, and how to mamagai people, bluff people to suck up to them. And that's why we had to chant them down. And that is why I want to make this final suggestions, Grenadian. Boycott, divest, and sanction all those who selling on the sidewalk. Buy nothing from them. Buy nothing from them. Elderly people, you're going to town and you're trying your best to move around. Don't buy anything from them. Starve them on the sidewalk. Let them go where they ought to be in the market and do their business there. That's a place for that.
Thank you, caller.
Thank you very much.
Have a good morning yourself. 435-2041, 435. That's been to the point there. 435-2041. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, good morning. Welcome.
Yes, just to deal with a couple of issues I was referred to. The penultimate caller said about we should not support what is happening in and I agree with him. Because, and he asked some fundamental question. Who did see God? Who saw God passing out land to special people? So I want to firmly agree with him. But also, on the last caller, in terms of the problem, and in terms of the problem on the sidewalk. But I want to situate the problem with the invasion. Wherever the Americans go, ultimately, there would be that kind of situation. And we've been building up from dismantling the market and creating a ghetto. Of course, I don't think we would ever recover from the ghetto mentality that the market was subjected since '84. So we had to really think deep in terms of how we arrive at that. It's also, emblematic of the poverty, the state of poverty. Don't forget that a lot of the people who would have come and doing bending was partly for people who followed from the system. Like for instance, when the banana and other crop in the so-called, for want of a better word, industry failed. And I had to do it even with the European Union and the American Food Company and so on. People came and tried to make a living. I'm not endorsing that. But we need to connect and remedy. It was the former Commissioner of Police, James Clarkson, who made a real effort to regularize that. And a minister came at the time saying, well, we have to give these people a chance. And so political imperative has been there. And then, I think sometimes even incumbent politicians are fighting to do what needs to be done. But we need to agree that we need to create a more orderly, a more decent society than the ghettoized mentality that we've been generating. Is not good for any of us. Years ago, somebody told me, an expatriate told me that their friend said, I never goes up to St. George's. I never goes up there because, of course, they live in the south. We shouldn't encourage enclaves in Grenada or areas that are considered or look as, no-go area. Right. And we've been doing that with the St. George's area.
All right, caller, thank you. Thank you so much for your contribution this morning. Thank you so much. Anything further?
Yeah, the thing I was going to just say, I don't know how we could do it, but some people would say people have to eat our food and that kind of thing, and what are you going to do? We have to come up with some agreement that we cannot have this ghettoized state being generated. Part of the problem might be how the market was reconfigurated, because my thing is that you don't give people this little space in the market which make them feel congested. So we need to rethink.
And you still can give one person the entire market, right? And you still cannot give one individual the entire market.
No. I'm saying that when we construct it, especially for the so-called poor and vulnerable and the marginalized, we give them little space, and then we give those who come in terms of investors, we give them all the lands and so on. So when we constructing things or reconstructing, we must take those things in and the dignity of the people, and maybe that might encourage them to comply.
All right. Thank you so much, caller. Thank you so much. Have a good morning. 435-2041. Let me see if I can grab a couple of the comments from the Facebook page this morning. Let's take this one from Andrea. She's saying, I'm not old, and it's annoying and disgusting having to bob and weave through those vendors blocking up those sidewalks. Then on the Carenage, we have people parking their vehicle on the sidewalk in front of places as one of these business establishment and the IKEA store, etc., forcing people to walk in the street. And another comment, I'm saying any more other comments I could do. Any other comment before we go back to the phone line? Let's go back to the phone line before we entertain any other comment. Caller, good morning, welcome.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Regarding the sidewalk vendors, I don't think the government understands the legal liability of allowing the sidewalk vendors, because if accidents happen because of them, they are liable. And I think someone needs to stop and think of the liability and the responsibility they have to remove these vendors.
Are you saying the liability will be based on the government?
Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
They are supposed to provide sidewalks, free walking sidewalks for the public. And if they're aware that these vendors are taking up the sidewalks, they see it happening. There was an accident right before Carnival where someone had to step into a trench in order to avoid the sidewalk vendors and fell into the trench, and an ambulance came to pick her up. A situation like that is the responsibility and the liability of the government, because they see this, they could see the potential as to what could happen when vendors are picking up the sidewalks. What happens as a result is that people are forced to walk into the street, and this is foreseeable. So if it is foreseeable that vendors on the sidewalk will cause public to walk into the street and accidents can occur as a result, anything that happens because of these vendors become a legal liability on the government. And someone in the government needs to pay attention to it, because one day a very savvy lawyer and a very savvy consumer will sue the government when an accident happens as a result of the vendors taking up the sidewalk, and an accident happen as a result. You hear promises after Christmas, they will be cleaned up. After Carnival, they will be cleaned up. There's always these announcements that they will be cleaned up after some major event, and it doesn't happen. They are taking up the sidewalks. They are coming in front of your face with the fruits and the vegetables, and it's a nuisance, it's an harassment, and it's a liability on the government. And I hope someone listens and not wait for a lawsuit. Thank you very much.
Thank you, caller. Thank you also for your contribution this morning. 435-2041, 435, and the interesting contribution there that, of course, that caller did make. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, you're welcome. Good morning.
Good morning to you. I want to remind the first caller after the break, if he goes back to the Bible, he would see where God called Abraham and asked him to leave his father's home, his family, and go on to a land that I would give you. And God Father told him, all right, your seed would inherit that land. I mean, people must make sure that they come in with facts and saying it as it is. It's not I am saying it is the Bible, it is God's word, and not talk nonsense. It aches me when I hear people say, well, the land God gives people land and all the rest of it. Let him go and read. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. Thank you also. 435-2041, 435-2041. We inside the final 15 minutes left on today's program. It's to the point here on Classic Radio, TV and TV, and once again our social media platforms. Let's entertain another caller before for the break. Caller, good morning. Welcome.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
And good morning to Glen. I tend to support a lot of the callers this morning concerning the market and the behavior of our politicians and the state that we are in now concerning the celebrations and while we celebrating, at the same time we mourning the loss of people. In the first case, for the market and the sidewalk sellers, the government is solely responsible, and it is weakness in all the governments. While we agree that people must find some way to sell, and it's not happening only in Grenada, it's happening in the rest of the place where I travel, people selling sidewalk, but it have to be controlled, and the government have a right to control it, and the police can't say the government is the politician, because the politician and the police, they have two different jobs to be done. So the police have to do their job, and the politicians have to do the job. But the politicians are responsible for assisting and helping with people. And people have to understand everybody cannot get up in the morning and be a vendor, and that you want to vend where you want. That have to be spelled out. Right? Some people get up, and because they have something to sell, they want to put up something and start to sell anyway. That is wrong. In terms of I can't call it celebration, the situation where we were trying to make heroes and whatnot. I think the planning was wrong and bad. Right? The planning time was wrong. And the Prime Minister proved it for himself. That because he said that the names of the persons will be given at the next time. And we understand and learn from the Parliament that there are ways and things to go around naming of heroes already. So all you have to do is to implement that. So I think too much emphasis is placed on Morris Bishop and making people to believe that Morris Bishop was a sin. All of them have sinned and come short. Morris Bishop was just as bad as Code and them. They all make and cause what happened to happen. The revolution did things that was good. We had benefit from the revolution, but there was no need for a revolution, and there was no need for people losing their life as they lost. So both sides, from the Code side and the Morris Bishop side. In other words, if Code and them didn't kill Morris Bishop, Morris Bishop had also kill Code and them to save. There is no way you could have two leaders. And when it said that Bishop agreed for joint leadership, he knew he was making a mistake. He knew he was putting himself in trouble. Right? I'm not satisfied with them, but I could agree that the revolution did have some good aims and did do some good things. But
all right, caller, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your contribution this morning. We drew for a break. Let's take it. We coming right back. Stay with us, folks.
Campeche, new from Grenada Distillers Limited.
You mentioned the wing high, and you have things like man, you must come back, you know. We have the low power there.
It is kind of like the same man, and it's just different name for the same kind of thing.
And last but not least, I just want to say to all the men who saw me, call me, and ask for a piece of cake. I'm baking this weekend.
Join us Fridays at 8 on GBN Television, K105 FM, GBN's Facebook page, and YouTube channel for We Culture.
You know, one day I woke up and, they painted a set of pedestrian crossing all along the streets. Nobody told us how to use that thing properly.
I know how.
You're serious?
Every safe, good driver knows about these things. As a driver, you have to be very attentive. You know you're coming up close to a pedestrian cross, you start slowing down immediately, looking to see if there's any pedestrian on the side getting ready to cross. If there is, you stop on the line that is a certain distance before the crosswalk.
Welcome back, listeners. Welcome back, viewers. We're into the final segment of today's program, and just approximately 10 minutes left before we wrap for today. Let's go back to the phone line and entertain a caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome.
Good morning, Gigi. How are you, sir?
Not too bad. Go right ahead, please.
Gigi, what happened in Grenada now, I don't know. It's like everybody just, like, they don't know what to do, as far as I see. Because the police right now are not working. Because, like, they don't tell nobody nothing. And I don't know the politician, I don't know what's going on. Because right now, look,
when you say the police is not telling anybody anything, what do you mean by that?
Well, because they're not working as how they used to work a long time ago in them days with some policemen they had. I mean, like Angel and those guys. There's inspector and you used to see them going around and seeing what happens. But those police now, those inspectors, I don't see them nothing, just staying in the office. They have to go around and see what's taking place. They have to drive in Grand Hands. They have to drive all about and see, not sitting down in the office. That's not only part of the job. Walk in town and see the problem. But they're not,
So you're talking about a lack of patrolling as in one
right,
state.
on those kind of things. Look how those bosses doing now. Yes, the light is on, but they're still doing the same thing. When the light come on, they cut in to pass on the other side to go in the bus stop, and they're saying behind the bus stop. Sometimes I almost bounced one yesterday because of that same stupidness, I almost bounced it. And because they have to put them on. They have to put out plain clothes police on the road, so they would know who is a police, like how they used to do this. So you check out the badge and they say I'm corporal so and so, officer so and so, and you tell them what you're supposed to tell them. But we need those people back on the road to straighten up Grenada.
So you are calling for more patrols, straight up.
More patrol on the whole, and look them bus stop. You have a bus stop by CKs, they're stopping by the lines. They're stopping by just Little Harrow. I mean, when you go away, you're walking from so far to get a bus or a train, right? But when you come in Grenada, you're doing and people in Grenada are doing all kind of wrong things, and nobody is telling them what.
Thank you,
we
caller.
have to stop them things. Huh?
Thank you so much, caller. Thank you so much. Thank you for your contribution. 435-2041. 435. Open line this morning. We're into the final segment of the show. Let's entertain another caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome. Caller, good morning and welcome.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Go right ahead with your contribution, please.
Yes, sir. Sorry.
435-2041. 435-2041. Let's go to another caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome. Caller, good morning. Guess this caller is not ready for me also. 435-2041. That's the number if you want to get on. We have approximately 7 minutes left on today's show. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, good morning. Welcome.
Morning, Glen.
Good morning to you.
I really want to speak on the Palestinian issue here.
All right, go right ahead.
The updated situation in what's going on in Gaza. Now, people are blaming Hamas for the attack. But the Israelis, they blocked off all Gaza and everything. Things can go in, things can go out. Like a hostage situation. So you must get a revolt in them situations. No. Look at what is happening on the both sides. The population of Israel is over 9 million people. The population of the Palestinians is 4-point-something million people. All right? No, this is showing that, and the people of Palestine are living in a prison. We have the Alaska Mosque, which is one of the biggest mosques in that area. Right? People, and the thing about it is there's both sides of the mosque. The part for the Israelis, the part for the Muslims. They are blocking off the Muslims from going and praying in the mosque. I saw an Israeli in a video, a woman soldier pushing and want to fight with a Palestinian because she wants to go and pray in the mosque. It looks so terrible because all she wanted, she don't have no gun here and nothing in her hand. To me, Israel is fighting a war against the people. How could you fight against unarmed civilians? Even if Hamas is a group, you get involved with Hamas, find where there is, but you can't be just throwing them and then blaming it on this and blaming on that. We know all what is taking place in this place, and it is horrible to the world.
All right.
All the people are coming out and demonstrating in England, in France, in Germany, in India, Pakistan. The world is on fire because of that situation. I am calling on the Palestinian authorities, the Israeli authorities, to let humanitarian aid get inside so that people
people can get food, water, connect back them with electricity. These people didn't bomb your place. They didn't fight you. They didn't capture nobody from you. They are civilians. And I'm calling, and that is what I am standing for, the civilian people of Palestine.
Caller, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. 435-2041, 435-2041. Just approximately 4 minutes left on today's program. It's to the point for today, Thursday, the 26th. We do have another caller. Let's entertain that caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Most times people make comments and they're not bringing solution. Just now, somebody made a comment, very good idea. If you do not buy anything from the people in the sidewalk, they would move. It's as simple like that. Don't buy. They would move. They wouldn't come. They wouldn't get no sales. One lady said, it's people on the sidewalk selling more expensive than the people in the market. For she to know that, she must have
purchased
engaged them in the price or buy from them. Don't buy. Just ignore them. And you would find that they wouldn't come there. About 10 years ago, I came here, and some part from St. David's, I drove from St. David's to Guelph, and I counted 25 people doing barbecue on the street. This year, I drove from the same area to Guelph. I only encountered three. I'm talking about on a Friday evening. So this is what you do. If people are doing things and the majority of people are complaining, you very simply ask people not to purchase from them. Don't buy. A few years ago, marketing board, about 10 years ago, marketing board, on a Friday, on a Saturday, the one in St. George's. On either side of marketing board, there were people selling stuff. I engaged one of them and asked them, why are you selling right outside of marketing board? And they give me all kind of donkey story, all kind of excuse. And I said, don't you think it is simple to sell your stuff to marketing board? And they give me all kind of reason. A little rainfall, and they have all the things on the ground. And nobody is doing anything about it. Now, well, there's no marketing board. There's nobody selling there. And that's how we solve problem. Not by bringing law and asking police and so on. Simple, let the people do not buy. If you're unhappy with something, you don't take part in it. Simple like that.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much. 435-2041. We probably could accommodate one more caller if it comes really quickly. We just have about 2 minutes before we wrap today's program. Interesting conversation all morning long. The sidewalk vending seemed to dominate the conversation a whole lot this morning, followed by the Israel and, of course, Palestine situation. Let's take our final caller this morning. Caller, good morning. Welcome.
Good morning, G. How you doing, brother, man?
Good morning to you, sir.
People always, come down on, I'm surprised to hear people coming on who is God. I'm surprised Grenadians can say that in their mouth. But you don't understand.
We're saying who is God.
Yeah, I heard him, we find like who is God. Like, I'm surprised this guy will say that in his mouth. But I'm just saying that, the Palestinians, right, and the Israeli issue. But, somebody said God didn't give them, who see God give them land? If you follow with the story of Jesus Christ, right? He's from Galilee, right? He went to Jerusalem. There, when he kicked down the money table, he didn't kick down the money table in Blasting Grenada. He kicked the money in Jerusalem. King David give the Jews the land, make it the capital of Israel, right? So to come and say the Palestinians came through, I think on 1881. If you go back to the speech of Arafat in the UN, when he spoke about how the Palestinians come by the land and what Israel did them, the story is not really, it's like a myth. People can Google that information. It's not something that you can find. It's right there. But Grenadians have a tendency of supporting the wrong things. I would stand by the Almighty. And Israel is his chosen people. Who is me to question that?
All right.
I was created by the Almighty. And
that's why I'm going to say thank you for this morning. We are really at our point where we have to wrap today's show. Thank you so much for your contribution this morning. All the best. 435-2041, that was the number. You could have called if you wanted to get on, but that's what we have just had our final caller for this morning. I want to say thanks to all who contributed to today's program, the open line, and your contribution was definitely, those of you who spoke to the authorities in terms of your concerns. Certainly hope someone enough in the authority may have heard, and of course we'll try to come up with some solution of the sort. Join us again for another edition of to the point. That's most likely to be tomorrow, once the Almighty permits, health, strength, and everything else. We'll have another edition for you. Have a good one, folks. That's why I say goodbye.